Greetings, everyone. It is I, Dr. Chef. It's good to see you all on this Wellness Wednesday. Oh boy, yeah, I know it's been a full week. It's been a full month. This month has already been full, given all of the news that is going on concerning our people all over the world. So this been Wellness Wednesday. You all know how I do it. I start off with requesting a prayer. Thank you for whoever's just tuned in. Please like and share. I'm here to share Wellness Wednesday, and I want to send my condolences out to those who've been affected in Florida. I want to give my condolences out to those who homes have been damaged and that have had to move from Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, all of the other surrounding areas that have been affected by the hurricane. I want to do that first and request that we all remember, for those who believe in the power of prayer, to remember to pray, because that's all some of us can do. Others, I got a chance to come across a post from one of my beloved brothers, and I like to read it because we know a lot of people get real spiritual. And excuse the background, you all see where I'm at. Yes, it's Wellness Wednesday. Don't get hungry, you all. This is where I had to come in order to meet in the middle, or else I would not have been able to come on live at all. So forgive me for those who could be getting tempted by seeing the background there. It's no way of taking that down. However, this goes to show you how determined I am to make sure that I provide the service for you all, this free coaching for those you all that need it. I will give some of you all time enough to tune in. And before I get into the announcements and for the ways that you can support and the ways that I can continue to help service you all with the best quality of service, a health and wellness service as possible. That does include the product line of the Dr. Chef botanical line of things that you all need. But I just wanted to make sure that I stated that first. I also have an update for us. My time on Motivational Monday may change to noon or somewhere between 11 or noon, due to me having to be on GMA duties. You know what that means? Grandma duties. And so I have to make sure that we make sure that I do that part first. I always say family first. I always state that family first because that's very important. That's just the order. And so, since my grandson will need me, I will be there to help tend them. So that's going to change my for that 4:30 to 5:30, that time frame that I normally come on for Motivational Monday. And my God, it's going to be a Motivational Monday. Um, but yes, back to our people. I would ask, I'm on that for Wellness Wednesday because, as you all know, I don't just provide as a naturopathic doctor, as a spiritual advisor, one that counsel in many different capacities, drug counselor, family depression, anxiety, all these things that come to unfortunately make us sick, first in the mind and then in our bodies. And so I want to make sure that I extend that offer to for consultation. I am one of probably none other that I know of that provide very, very low cost or fundings and donations to do consultations and coaching for our people that actually do have certificates, license, and a degree. However, I wanted to make sure that I was providing the service for a very, very low price so that our people wouldn't have that as a stumbling block, or at least so that most wouldn't have it as a stumbling block. So we're talking only $50. And you all know, once you get to a place to where you're certified and licensed and degree in something, that means I can charge up to the hundreds of dollars in consultations. However, I do not. And I also most of the time provide even more time than just 30 minutes, depending on the situation. And so I want you all to keep that in mind. And for those who are to tune in and you think that you need coaching during these stressful times, you may have extended family and friends that are out there being affected in Florida and in North Carolina, Georgia, even as far as Mexico. I want you all to know that I'm here to provide my services for that. And all I do is use whatever you're able to send and give me concerning the price. I take it and I put it towards natural health products and for providing even more free service for other families that are in need that may not have income. And there are a lot of these people out here, you all know the poor will always be with us. Why do you think that false prophets and those who are wicked, rich people like to take and use them as a prompt to make them seem like that they are decent people when they're not? Because it's so compelling when you use the poor and when you use the children in order to be able to show that you have some humanistic feelings and passion and emotions. And so Satan and evil people have caught on to that, even those who are posing as angels of light when they're and actually they're angels of darkness. They are people with dark hearts, like to prey on our people. So I like us to keep that in mind as well. That check on your family members and people that you know and your friends that may be affected by this, because the one thing we know for sure is that when devastating times like this come about, what happens is you'll know is more and more scammers that'll be out here. There'll be more and more self-made ministers. There'll be more and more of people that are educated in knowing how to manipulate and prey on the minds of people that don't have much or that's been affected by these catastrophic events. And so I like for us all to work together. Those of us who can, and you notice that, help. Be a help to your neighbor. Be a help one to another if you can. That's what I would like to encourage us to do on Wellness Wednesday. And I like to share this little. That's the reason why I'm not on Facebook. I like to share this right fast before I get into the meat and the heart of you all answer the questions that my brother had posted. And I had to share it because it made sense. And because at times like this, a lot of times the fear and devastation takes over. And then a lot of us that proclaim to be religious, some that may be spiritual, we can kind of get to a place where our minds forget that we can't that our minds forget that we can afford to act like um, this is something to gloat about, or that we should be in a hurry for a chastisement. You don't have to be. Think about when you were children. For those of you all that don't raise a hand that was raised with. If you spread a rod, you spoil the child. Nobody ever had to be in a rush to get chastised, even though we knew that the child was going to make mistakes. And when I was a child, I act as a child. I speak as a child. And we have to remember we are like children in the midst of these times, in these trying times. We are like children, meaning that we're not operating with a lot of wisdom when it comes down to really how to truly show love and respect and honor one to another. We see that from country to country, we see that from state to state. And for those of us who claim to be spiritual, and those of us who claim to be so religious, I would like to encourage us to really, really take a really deep look at ourselves during this time to check to see if we're really operating from a spiritual well mind, from a mind that is really operating from a place of true compassion and love. Because if you really check and you sit back and meditate a little bit and just examine yourself. Sometimes, if you're not turned over into a reprobated mind, meaning a closed mind, a mind that thinks that you're right about everything, I'm not speaking of those who think that they are right about everything. I'm speaking to those who really want to work on healing themselves as far as how they treat one another, learning how to actually be one that is more of a help than not. That's why I liked when I come across a scripture that speaks a lot about us saying that we love God. There's a scripture that makes reference about us saying that we love God, and it speaks back and it says to us that no, we don't love God. What happens is that He questioned us and said, "How can you say that you love me when you don't love your brother and your sister that's right by you? How can you say that you love me when you don't love your brethren that's right there every day, every day by you? How can you say it?" So I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this, and we're gonna go from there. Let me see here, and see who hearts at this prick, because it made a lot of sense. I said I'm gonna have to share this before I get into the heart of my health coaching. Dun, 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 dun. Mhm. I believe I shared it. Here we go. The brother stated, he said something really heartfelt. And I said, I'm going to share this because it makes sense to share it. It says, it says, see me good. It says, this is not the time to be invoking the wrath of God or taunting. Watch the weather. There are some good people who may lose their life and everything that they worked hard for. This is a time to help those in need. Have you even thought of how you can help? Most of most of you who are being insensitive in this way don't have a survival kit, good enough food, a bug out bag, no ham radio or anything, meaning you're not prepared. This ain't this ain't no or I told you so moment or I got you moment. What if your mom and your children were in the path of the storm? And I just thought, I'll share that because it makes sense. It makes it only makes sense to be a reminder of in times like this. Like I say, if someone is being chastised, who do you know that didn't get a whooping? I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in the time where when there was chastisement coming for those who see it as chastisement, or for those who see it as just something negative happening to someone, something that doesn't feel good, something that really puts a person in a place of not having no power and having no real help. Something who do you know that can sit by and laugh and not eventually get got too? If mom or dad is really angry enough, who do you know that won't get? I see. I grew up in a family where if someone was being chastised and then the other child was sitting back mocking and saying, "Yeah, get them on. Yeah, they didn't want to do it. Yeah, no, no." It wouldn't be too long before your mom or your dad whooped you too and told you to get out the way. Get out the way, meaning I don't need your support and help. I see what has been done. I see that they didn't take care of the land. I see that they didn't take heed to the warning before destruction. What do we need you to say that to act as if there is a prophetic thing going on like you thought of before, and that's just too much of that going on where we have too many of our people that's claiming to be spiritual, that's saying what the Bible said. Just say what the Bible said and leave it at that. But it's not something that we need to elaborate on because rest assured, every man and every woman is going to have their day. And the first thing that happens, and we all see it all the time, the very ones that's talking the most, the very ones that's mocking the most, the very ones who's saying that God's wrath is on our hands, those are the very ones, a lot of the time, most of the time. And I'm talking about those who's doing this with no experience, that has not been around for no time and have not truly experienced the wrath of God. Let's know Mother Nature. You ain't been in a thunderstorm. You haven't been in nothing. You ain't never been in a hurricane. You ain't been through nothing but what you put yourself through. Those are the ones that I'm really speaking of. You've only been through the ones that you signed up for. The there is a love and a compassion and a sense of wisdom that says to me to use my platform to state, let's be careful, you all, because most of us cannot handle. We cannot handle the test that all of these others are having, where you have to watch your mother and your father be swept away in mud or in a lot of water. Most of us cannot handle that. Most of us can. If you can, and act as if nothing happened, then you know what we think at that point. What we know, that there's something mentally wrong. That we'll say you're heartless. You have no feelings and no emotion. Even for those who claim to believe in Jesus, even Jesus wept. Now you can't cry, but yet you're mocking. And even Jesus didn't do that. There is no leader that we know of from before or unto now that we know, not even Dr. Martin Luther the King, rejoiced in the fact that there was something bad. There was something, there was dogs biting at those who's trying to fight for some rights because of the color of your skin or because of where you come from. Only a person without a heart, only a person who thinks that they really truly are God, and I mean the supreme God, must think that it's okay to mock. And I'm here to encourage us to not to do that, because it shows that there's a sign that you are not mentally well in the mind. And this is why it's so important that we take care of ourselves, you all, on this Wellness Wednesday. See, I grew up in this, so I know. I grew up with uncles, the father and mother, and different ones of missionaries. I shared this with you all so many times. And when you grow up religious and in the church the way I have, and where that's all you hear, that every time something bad happens, that it's God. And I'm not saying that it's not, but I understand more so the principles of the matter, that there are things that were written in scripture that stated that if you don't take care of the land, then the earth basically will spew you out. And Mother Nature is what we call it now. Mother Nature will come back upon you like none other, like a mad, can I say, like a mad black mama. After she done told you about for the 10th time to clean up the house, to do your chores, to do your homework. After you done broke up everything up in her house. You done made such a mess, and she's tired because she's been working day in and day out. But like a mad father, you all know about the passage in the scriptures where when they were gambling and doing all this business in the church, where because of all of the ungodly things and the timing of it taking place, is that he came in whipping. Meaning, not just one person, not just one state, not just one city, not just one country, but everybody. That's the time that I believe that we are in now. If I can use that as an example. So, meaning nobody is in a place, none of us, or let's say 99%, I'll say 99% because I'm going to leave room for the Supreme God. I'm going to leave room for the Supreme God and his very, very chosen few. And you'll know, because their life will speak in such a manner to where whatever they're trying to judge in a time like this, they will not be found guilty of it themselves. Give me 1 second, you all. Give me 1 second here. So I'm saying to you all now, there's just a warning, and it's like again, like I said, this is for my so-called spiritual and religious people. For us, I'm stating this as a concerned sister in Christ. I'm stating this as a concerned human being. The human and the divine part of me is speaking on this matter at this point in time. I'm saying it because this is coming from the mother in me as well. No mother want to see any of her children be doomed. No mother want to see any of her children hurt. Men, fathers have been taught to rough them up a little bit so they can get some strength. But in most cases, the mother is the nurturer. And I'm saying, you all, this is a time for us to nurture and to try to be there for those. Everybody else that's been in need is going to be in need. But if you can get your hair done, you can have nice clothes on, you can have somebody trying to provide food for you. I mean that from the youngest, from the babe to the elder, you're okay. But now we're going to have to deal with most of all of us who claim to be doing this type of work, whether you be in ministry, whether you are working for the National Guard, whether you be working for the Red Cross, whatever kind of work that you're doing as a community leader and as a group, this is going to take all of us to band together because from what I see, this is the reason why you all confession time. And I'm not confessing because I'm seeing you all as my God or me as yours. I just want to be honest. This is the reason why when my offer came to go to Florida, I because I have a prayer life and because there are some things that I am allowed to foresee, I knew that it wasn't the best thing. I'd already saw that this time next year, if you wind up going and taking the offer to be there in Florida, yeah, so called in a nice area too, y'all. I'm not gonna say no names because I want the point. I want the example that I'm giving to y'all, the testimony that I'm giving to you all to understand the reason why it's so important for us to be well in our minds so that we can get a healing for our soul and so that you can be led in all that you do. Acknowledge God in all your ways so that He can direct your path. But those who all that believe in that, that's tuning in now and later, the reason why it's so critical is not, and He can do that without you being perfect. He can do that without you being one that has faults. You just have to ask. Some of y'all like to use the term the universe. Well, ask the universe because God created that too. And you don't have to worry about being misled. See, I allowed adversary to do that at times in my life. And so I'm speaking from much experience. But each time I knew to pray when it was a big shift so I could get out of the way of the storm. Now, I can't guarantee that you'll always be able to miss something that's catastrophically happening, but I can promise you this much that if you really do truly practice acknowledging God and paying attention to nature, I promise you, you won't be caught in it as fast as those who's carrying on about everyday business, putting their job, putting their I'm gonna go as far as say putting your ministry, putting everything else before the warning, before destruction. I've shared with you all, some of you all that's tuning in, and some of you all that tune in later. I've already shared with you all that I went through this when it was time for me to be able to be offered to go to Hawaii, Maui on top of it, the most expensive island there, and still is to this day. And how I had to after praying and meditating on the creed. And Sister Chanel, good to see you all. Please like and share. After praying about it, God said, okay, you go on this day. Yeah, I said it. The spirit in me, in my mind. I had never been there before. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go as far because I don't think that I shared with you all that was my very first time ever flying. At 30 years, 30 something years old. First time ever flying. And the first time ever for my children. And all they could think is by seeing this family of six. Are y'all in the military? And I looked, at first I was going to say no. But then when I thought about it, I said, you know what, I am. I told the stewardess, I said, yeah, I'm in the army of the Lord. She sniggled. She thought that was cute. She thought that was just a little cliche thing that so-called Christian people say. She didn't know how serious that was for me. So the moment we left, that's when the major ice storm came, you all. We had so many people from back home here in Illinois at the time that were calling saying, y'all just made it out just in the nick of time, just in the nick of time. So many. I can pull them up on here. They can come on and testify to it and show you that I have plenty of witnesses. First time flying. And I had many dates that I could choose from. I had 2 months of dates that I could choose from. But you know what I had to pay attention to after prayer? Remember praying and thinking on things and making sure your mind is righteous. And there was a lot of distraction taking place then. I was still battling doctors at that time concerning my daughter's condition. My husband at the time was sickly and having mental issues and stressing about work because he had just been laid off. It was a lot there. It was a lot of distraction going on then. A lot. But the one thing that I must on this Wellness Wednesday give credit to is the power of prayer. I don't care how unpopular it seems to be. It doesn't change the fact that he gave the warning, and the warning was as simple as, now after you pray, pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to what my other creations are not doing that they usually do. I paid attention to the flocks of birds. Y'all like and share. I'm sharing something with you all because we're not out of the neck of woods here. We're not out. I'm putting my life here. I'm putting my testimony out here on purpose. That's so someone can hear. Some say, now watch the birds. Tune your ears and listen. I heard nothing, you all. And when you're living in a town or a city that's busy and you hear nothing in the mid of the day, and the weather is usually nice and the birds are usually chirping, that means that something is about to take place in the atmosphere. Something is about to play. And for this being Wellness Wednesday, I'm telling you right now, I was just getting real good into finding me a little natural remedy. I hadn't had everything down packed yet. I was still in my first years of learning the naturopathic way. So I'm not going to completely exempt that out. I'd already taken as much MSG out of my so-called diet at the time. I'd already set aside white bread. I'd already set aside soda pops. I set aside a lot at that time. I was weaning myself off of the fish. I was getting there. So that's what I mean by you don't have to be perfect. At least that's what I've learned in order for God to lead and guide you. And the same thing is, so by the time we got there, even Maui got hit with a storm. When I touched down, I had to still pay attention no matter how much all this beautiful rave I heard about Maui. Maui, oh, y'all going to Maui. We had so many brothers and sisters and friends. Can y'all imagine? Oh, man, we coming out there. We coming. Oh, y'all get it set up. We had a nice arrangement. Yeah, we coming. We was finna plan to have relatives and everybody come out that had never taken a nice vacation. But that wasn't the mission. That wasn't it. But in order for you to know that, when you have a lot of distraction and a lot of normal human reactions going on around you, remember how there is scriptures that state that you know God by his creation. So meaning we can never afford to ignore the signs of nature. Never. I know what they've done. Made it seem like everybody that was for nature and everybody that's walking around that's barefooted, that likes to pull and eat on herbs, and they make it seem like Satan has done. I admit it, y'all. He done a very wickedly clever job at making folks think that this just is for witches. The term is used so strongly from Christian folks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to tell the truth and go to heaven. It's so used among us, and we so are not using our senses with this. This is how you know when we have some illnesses, when our minds are not ready. The idle mind is the devil's workshop for sure. That someone can come even over the news, and we know how much propaganda and lies and twisted stories come out of that. But even when they start to tell the truth and they start to say, y'all get out of here, and you don't move. Here in America, we saw that with Katrina. And yes, unfortunately, we realize that there are a lot of people that don't have family and friends to be able to move about. There are some people that were sick and bad now. Once again, one of the major reasons why your health and wellness is everything during this time, especially if you are the caregiver of children and elderly and people that are handicapped that cannot fend for themselves. They're solely reliant on you. So you got those that like to jump ship when the going really truly gets tough, as long as it don't affect me. But then you got those that'll get down in the nitty gritty of the stuff, and they will sacrifice all that they have to try to help their brothers and their sisters, try to help the next woman, the next man, the next family. Not just for profit, not just for profit. They will volunteer. I'm going to go as far as to say, y'all, and yes, I come from a military background family. Yes, I do. But they're not even signing up for the military to get a paycheck every month. It's just in their heart. There is no medal and no badges for it. There is no fine suits and attires and all this on. Oh, my son went off to the military. Oh, my daughter, I get it. Not knowing that here it is, once again, the very country that we see experiencing its fall. Its fall that we like to call Babylon. Still, yet and still, you're proud to wear that badge, aren't you? Think about it. Now that we know what the true agenda, most of us do know that America wasn't over in other countries trying to make sure that they just feed the people some food from starving. We know now that they were truly after resources. And still in a lot of those countries, still setting up camp in a lot of those countries. But yeah, you don't see not too many of our people unless they are disabled veterans. Their checks have been cut. You still see us all proud. Look, proud. I'm a this, I'm a that. They fed my family. I know how to fight. Hold our heads up high. I'm like Muhammad Ali. And like another brother of mine that I found out about, Brother Bilal. I'm gonna put him out there. I'm not signing up to fight Satan's battle. And I'm surely not gonna gloat about it. There is when you think about where we are, if you really truly want to be just and righteous. Yeah, I know it's a tough one. I know it's tough. I know it's tough. You're putting your life on the line for a country that don't mind making you sacrifice yours, but for leaders, they're not going to do it for you. And even for the ones that govern this country, these countries that they still had special protections. Most of them still had some protection, with the exception of a few. Because, see, they were already set in motion and set up. There was already plans for them to be in certain positions wicked people in high places. They were already set in motion. Their fathers set it up for them. And so this is the reason why I say even at this time in Wellness Wednesday, you can't allow your mind to be sickened. You can't allow yourself to get so stressed out to where you can't see clear when the rain is gone. You got to see all the obstacles out of your way and prepare. The warning the alarm has been sounding off for a long time now. And for those who didn't understand history, you didn't pay attention to the spiritual books, the Bible, and different things. I mean, you said, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe. Well, we see what happens to unbelievers. You don't have to believe. Yeah, I'm going to go as far as to say, you all, you don't have to believe in something in order for it to be true. It's just not true to you until it's too late. I'm not speaking to those people. I'm not speaking to those people. So only like to share to those who have their minds open to hear what thus said God through all of his vessels that really do want to see as many people as possible saved from the destruction of this earth. And we know that this means that not many of us will be. At least I understand that. And so I like to encourage us all during this time while we're watching and hearing the radio and the news forecasting on the internet, and we're seeing the effects that this is having across the world. Not to get comfortable, so much comfortable to where we're not praying and that we're not preparing. Because after all, to have faith and to believe in something, anything, whether it be good or bad, and you're not prepared, you not do the work, it means nothing. I have things prepared for me, and I have had it prepared for me and my family for years before this. I didn't wait for a husband to do that for me. I actually did it to women. The same to you all. You all must get to a place to where you prepare for those you all who don't have covering. Prepare for you and your children. Draw up, store up dry foods, dry things that would be good for you and your families. Get those little bottles of infomercials. Get off of I highly encourage you all to get off of the internet buying nails and hair and blouses and all of this other things, all these things that you can't take nowhere with you. And start getting safety kits, to go tents. Start getting the straws that you can sip out of, that have filters in it. So if we get hit by a flood, wherever you are, because water, this earth is full of water, more so than what we have land that we can see. And not everybody can go underground. And I'm not going to get on that area because there is writings and teaching upon that too, and how they will be, those who want to go to mountaintop, those who want to go underground, how they will be affected too. That's why so many things are going to come from up out of the sea. That's why so many things can come out of from above, from out of the heavens of the heavens. We as men and women don't fully understand what it truly means for the most part. I don't think so. What it means when we say the wrath of God, or what it means when it says that, oh, Mother Nature is going to fight back. I think we like to say it because we live in a place in a time where there's so many movies that some of the wicked powers of evil like to put out there for entertainment. And we actually I think most people think that that's the way it's going to be, where it's going to be on TV. And then we all are supposed to then get prepared to excavate out then, and you're going to get out. Now, it's a reason why the term means warning before destruction. For those of us who have a warrior-like mentality, and where you're so healed and so content with your life, you so feel great about how healthy and how well you've been living all your life, and you've done right by everybody that you know. And so it doesn't matter whether or not a tsunami hit you, doesn't matter whether or not an earthquake swallow you up. Then I say all praises be to God for you. But I can promise you, you don't represent more than one. The 99 and a half that won't do. That won't do. So I say, all praises be to God for those that exist, that less than 1% that exists, that says, whatever happens, happens. But by all means, don't hinder your family, don't hinder your loved ones. See, I had to stay behind and do what I have to do, not like Lot's wife. Don't be deceived. This is not no. Lot was ordered and well, not ordered, but he was given for those who believe in that part of the scriptures. He was given that land. He was given. He didn't go over there seeking a new wife. He didn't go over there trying to leave his family. Lot didn't go there, and then all of a sudden the angels come down when fire and brimstone is coming to burn up Solomon and Gomorrah. He didn't go over there and then all of a sudden, told his wife to do something. And by the way, those so-called angelic creatures that was so-called warning the men versus the women, and that he handing over his daughters for y'all know the story. Some of y'all know the story. Let's paraphrase it a little bit. He didn't go over there and then turn around and then told his wife to come, and then she turned around to a pillow salt because she was disobedient. That's not my case. My case is that I can see some things. Let me say some things that I don't want anybody coming after me, since I am on the well by well. I'm a firm believer in watching out for the blind that leads the blind to the point to where you all fall in the ditch. I don't care how good you're preaching. I don't care how good you're teaching. I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care how many posts that you help. All I care about is paying attention to the signs of God. Because man will fail you. That's scripture. That is scripture, you all. Pick it up. You don't have to today, because now we've all lived here long enough to see what has happened with the wicked men that have been in high places. And now all of a sudden, now we want to get upset because now some of those same men in high places have now decided to let's pass the torch over to a so-called black woman. Y'all know the spirit. Understand the spirit. Understand the mind and the lifestyle of those who's growling and making a lot of noise about what they can't stand and how God is going to get it. It's because their souls are already damned. I said it. I said it. I believe it's because their souls are already damned. And they do like some do, like how we hear it. I'm finna go there, y'all. We do like what some of us is so for the black movement do, when we want to focus on what the white man done, and how they say it's a few of the white folks is want to try to make atonement for the wrong that their forefathers did to black folks and other people and the chosen few. Yeah, there's some of the quote unquote melanated people that's doing the same thing, and they're toting Bibles, and they're using their money, they're using their fame, they're using everything that they can, especially in times like these, to make it seem as if they mean you all the good in the world, when in actuality they mean to have you to serve them, like they mean to have you serving them because they want to be your God. Oh yes, they do. While at the same time proclaiming to just be a man, just being a human, I'm just a woman. You all have to watch out for the double talking. You stand for something or you fall for anything. You can't say that one minute that I'm a Christian and one minute I'm a Muslim and another minute that I'm a Hebrew and another minute I'm this and I'm that, or then combine them all and then turn around and then we say that we are nothing. I'm just for God. Well, God allowed all of these things to be, right? He allowed the hurricanes. He allowed the tornadoes, right? Uh-huh. He allowed for certain parts of the earth to be destroyed when we don't do our part. Mother Nature has allowed it. when you don't take care of her and nurture her properly. This is the reason why I put out the cry. Y'all do right by your families. Do right by your family. Stop thinking that the grass is greener on the other side and just understand that even if the grass is greener, it's because somebody had to work harder to keep it greener. Or it may just be artificial. Either way, there's an order. There is an order of God and principles that we all must follow. And when you don't, you have cases like what we see now, where people have worked in so-called ministries and missionaries and been seen as good humanitarians, all of the above. Remember, there is a writing that says that God is a jealous God. And he will have beside him there will be none other. For those of us who claim to believe that, who claim, I have to say claim, then you must understand that you cannot worship me. I cannot worship you. You can't worship anybody on these platforms. You can only take in the information that is good for you and yourself and your family and say thank you. I appreciate you. And that's it. Anything more, we put ourselves in the place of, once again, like how we've done. How many of us have farmland? How many? How many of us really, truly are doing the work? How many? Or are we skipping towns, skipping countries, trying to avoid the wrath of Mother Nature? I think a lot of us are trying to do a lot of skipping. We we skipping. We trying to skip. We trying to instead of just waiting and listening to the voice and paying attention to the signs of the time. There's nothing wrong with moving when necessary. But I mean, you don't have to be in a panic or a frantic and making a mess and leaving a trail of mess and going against the full, unadulterated, original way. If you try to plant a seed in soil that's no good, if you try to plant a seed where there is no water and no soil, you will not, nothing will grow. Nothing will grow. If you try to plant a good seed, yeah, you can have a good word. You can be doing a lot of good. Remember, I stated before, you can be doing the right thing, a good thing, the right thing at the wrong time with the wrong people. I'm gonna go as far as saying the wrong place because that land has been cursed. And rest assured, it's not just America. It's everybody. The scriptures say that everybody that's laid, all the countries that's laid in the bed with her, all of them. We just are people that clearly, just like how we like to pick apart what kind of fruit and what kind of vegetations we don't like. It doesn't matter whether or not you need the vitamin D, A, B, C. You need the whole vitamin chain of command. But we'll sit here and say, oh, because I want to rip and run a little bit more, I'm going to take more B and leave out A. You need to be able to see. You need the vitamin A for sight. You can't leave out vitamin D. You need the energy. You need to have a vitamin sources in you that allows you to absorb all of the other vitamins. So meaning you can't leave out any. Or else you're going to be off balance, or else you're going to get sick, or else your immune system go down. Well, that's what happens with us in the mind when these type of things take place. Because you haven't prepared. We take our money and we think that because we can take flight, we take our money and we think that you can go buy people's loyalty. We take our money and we think that you can make people work for you and they'll never see that you never prepared the proper way. You don't have a real place for somebody else in another man's land and in another man's home. I had a family member that I love dearly. It's good to see you all. Very, very good to see every last one of you all. We're commanded to never be in anyone's religion. Oh, somebody's put out there, we were commanded. They said we were commanded to not to be in anyone's religion. Mm. You got so many that's going to say that we debunk that all day long. But it doesn't matter because we see what that has led us to. I'm sorry, I have to agree with that. But it does such a good job at crowd control. in some ways, that so many of us, we think that we were supposed to be commanded to be in somebody's religion, commanded to be actually listening to a man that's not even following after God's, or don't even, it's not even following after God's own heart like David did. And so we live in a time now where now we all want to denounce. We want to be like Peter and denounce God when the goings get tough and rough, when the storm comes. Oh yeah, well, God forgave Peter because he denied him 3 times. You're not Peter. Show me proof. I wouldn't want to play identity theft. I would not want to play identity theft. But Judas, well, God would have forgiven Judas, and Judas would have went on ahead. He knew Judas was going to betray us. You're not Jesus. You're not Jesus. But my God, if you're Judas, we know what your end going to be. So because we have so many that's confused today, because we have so many of us that's sick in the mind and in the spirit, we got so many of us that won't take accountability, and what the president done. If you read your Bible and you claim to be so spiritual and you believe in it, then you should already know that this is written, that this is the order. I'll never be surprised about what a wicked leader or what someone that's politicking will do. I'll never be surprised. It's already written. But if you don't read and you don't study to show yourself approved under the mighty hand of God, then I can see how so many will fall to the wayside and so many will die, as we say, in our sins, in our unhealthy, ungodly sins, because we will not study. I'm not saying that we'll all ever get it perfect and know everything, but clearly that was even, we're not even scratching the surface. It seems like most of us is not scratching the surface, not even with the 10 Commandments. And even those who practice homosexuality cannot say that. Even a lot of those say that, oh, well, ain't nothing wrong with the 10 Commandments. Ain't that something? When even you can get those who are practicing what is written to be an abomination to even say. But yet you got those who claim that you're not for that. You're not for that lifestyle and you struggling with it. Y'all, I'm not laughing at us. Once again, I gotta laugh to stop from crying. Because to be able to see certain things. Let me say see certain things that we have backwards, that we have wrong. And to be one that will huff and puff more about a religion and a title. Huff and puff more about what you understand about the scriptures, what you understand about history. And yet and still you lose sight of that all throughout, no matter what you rep, no matter whether you debating about beans or watermelon. At the end of the day, it said that the greatest gift would be love. And I'm finna go here, y'all. I'm sorry for those of you all that are tuning in that say that we Christian and we believe in Jesus Christ. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. Hallelujah, Haka Messiah. But you go with you all go as far as to skip over the scripture that states that how can you say that you love God when you don't love your brother and your sisters right there beside you that you see every day? He said, how can you say? And that's the greatest gift. Not the Holy Ghost. It's a gift. Have leading God, a whole lot going on there. It stated there. But it said the greatest. We got so many boxes. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. We got great athletes. We got great speakers. We got great leaders. And done a lot to lead a lot of people. But what we see, if you look through history, it was never really truly the greatest army, the biggest armies that really conquered. In some cases, then most of the time it was the few, it was the ones with the least that had like minds that was able to win the battle, win the war, because they all came into one mind, one spirit. What do you see that happening at? And I'm not talking about everybody putting on the same colors. I'm not talking about everybody putting on the same T-shirt. I'm not talking about everybody hollering, oh, I'm Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm Hebrew. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about same like mind and spirit. Well, you would give your life for your other brethren and him here. I've heard it. I've seen it. Not many do it. We don't have many that have that mindset. I don't know about y'all, but every time I think about war, and it could be because of my descent, I am coming from the bloodline of grandfathers that were on uncles, dad fathers that were deep into the military. It could be. It could be. Hey there, cuz. Good to see you. It could be. I'll give credit what credit is due. But I don't have a mind of defeatism. I don't have a mind to think that just because it gets hot in the kitchen that I have to get out the kitchen. I live in the kitchen. I find my way in a hot kitchen, meaning in hot waters and things that are not pleasant in life. And through it all, it has only helped get me closer to God. When man fail, when we fail one another, I believe that that is the most divine time that we're forced to have to see the face of God. You're forced to have to look for something that's greater than self. But yet we have a teaching that thinks that just because we're trying to restore the minds of those who was to have the, this this mind of I'm the least of them all. It seems like to me that that we thought that that meant that it was just about self. And if it's not just about self, then we hurry up and grab a bunch of children, or we hurry up and grab a bunch of old folks and our elders, and we grab somebody that look like they in need to make it look like we we truly protected, unprotected, unprotected. When all it is for self glory. You'll know because they say their names a lot. You'll know because they give credit to everything else a lot. When it says to only give honor, only boast in the Lord, God Almighty. Only. It says give honor what honor is due. But the boast, I am that I am. All of the greatest leaders that I've seen that have done some miraculous things that didn't have a questionable lifestyle or kept their families together. They seem to be pretty humble to me. Very humble. Yeah, some occasions that they had to show in the wrath. And that's only because somebody was coming up against their family or they're trying to destroy them before their time. So there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. I do believe that. And now we are in the time of war. So it only makes sense on this Wellness Wednesday, you all, that we get prepared health-wise. It only makes sense that you take good care of your bodies, your mind, and your soul. It only makes sense. It only makes sense that you make sure, husbands, that you're strong enough to be able to carry more than one child on your back. It's just not good enough for us to watch these little black paintings where they got the man, big strong black man carrying a woman on their back and then the baby. That's just a picture. Some man had a vision, came up with that image because they knew that this is the way and the order that it should be. So yes, my heart goes out to our strong men, that our good family type men that's not making excuses, that's not running, that's not hiding, that's not trying to think that they can do whatever they want to do and leave their seed. Hats go completely off, my purse go off, my everything go off to them. Women, we know we've already been created to believe that we have to be the nurturer, so we got to stay no matter what. And that's the reason why we've been so ostracized and criticized when you don't be there for your family, your children, because it just, there is no earth without you birthing your children. There is no people. There's no civilization without you birthing. The man has a part to plant the seed. And my God, we can only pray that it's a good seed. But you have to carry it and birth it. You have to nurture it. The hand that rocked the cradle really does rule the world. And this is the reason why we see so much upset about the fact that the person that they have, the woman that they have set in motion to be next in line, possibly to be the president. It's the reason why it's so much uproar, because it's unnatural for us to think of a woman running anything without first being a mother. Because we associate you being a mother as being more nurturing, more compassionate. And we know that if you become a really nurturing, loving, and compassionate mother, then usually that transfers over to how you treat someone else's children. And so when we don't see that, and you say you haven't birthed nothing, that's not to say that you can't care. It's not to say that it's just because you're bearing that you don't have love in your heart. But I'm saying that this is one of the very reasons that there is so much ruckus and concern about what we're putting in. I get it. Sworn in by another woman. Yeah, I might lose some folks for this, but it's all right. I don't have a real huge father, no way. I don't do this for that, y'all. I'm so glad I'm not so into ratings. I'm so glad I'm not getting paid by YouTube, because I don't have to worry about that test. I'm so thankful. And say this freely. We oh we getting sworn in by another quote unquote black woman. It was one of the first black women judges. Yeah, I'm gonna go there, y'all. I'm gonna go there. Because it's messing with the minds, the mental health and wellness of our men. Those who mean well. I'm not talking about the narcissistic men that don't think nothing of women and they only think of them to just to serve only. I mean that for those who see us as divine, that sees us as also as wisdom, that sees us as having eyesight. Because when we are not catering to our men and to our families, that means our minds are supposed to be upon God only. Always praying for our family, always preparing for our families. Saying that to say, and then now we're going to inaugurate, should be sworn in on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday after they done waited 40 years to release out what kind of man he was behind closed doors, which was not considered a holy man. Y'all, we have to think a little bit here. When have Satan ever not been crafty and very, very wise? And I know y'all not gonna think for 1 second. You're not gonna think for 1 second that me being a woman that understands what it means to be a leader, that I wouldn't be happy to see a black woman, a black, strong, beautiful, intelligent black woman have a chance to be able to make this world a better place. You have to know that I would love that. So y'all get mad at the men for saying it. Y'all get mad at the men. You get mad at women that seem to hate on other women. But I'm neutral here. I don't hate it. I just want a godly woman in position. You should want one too. And when I mean godly, I don't mean religious. Because there's going to be plenty of segments where you can show anybody being in anybody's church raising up their hands. Did not Obama do it? First so-called black president. Did not even Trump come out with a Bible? Y'all, let's think. When have wicked people in high places ever chosen a woman that was godly? Ah, let's think about it. If you were unhappy with the administration and with how this country is being led, and my God, if you believe in the scriptures, then why in the world would we sit here and vote for anything that's not repping nothing but God fearing, wholesome families, taking care of the earth, taking care of God's people? Why in the world would who, who are we saying that we are? If you agree to go along with anyone that's going for and they're saying it's okay to destroy the families, like we're not destroyed enough. It's okay for a man to say that he thinks he's a car. Vroom, vroom. It's okay for a woman to think that she's a tire. Look at her roll on over there. This is how you know we're sick in the minds. Yeah, I didn't mean to go this route for wellness men. I meant to take and actually just told you my colon cleanse, my sea moss. But I do have ministry in me. I do have a teaching word in me. I do. And this is one of the reasons why I would tell my greetings. Thank you so much for those of you all that have much to say. No debunking the truth. Our oppressors love pushing that LGBT mess in our people. Absolutely. We're commanded to never be in any religion. Yes, this is true. I can't debate with that. This is true. There's no commandment for it. What we have is traditions. And it even went as far as to tell us to do away with man's traditions. Do away with that. That's not meant. Do away and only hold fast to God's tradition. That would be good for your families. I speak on this all the time to all of my brothers and sisters, all of the people that I meet. And I've sat down at many tables with those who say they don't believe in God, those who are from all different walks of so-called religion. And at the end of the day, all of them pick up a Bible, no matter what dialect it is, in that still states that the greatest gift is love. That still states that we are supposed to do unto others that they will have us to do unto them. Are we practicing that, y'all? Do you all see fairness going on with the real estate, with the land? No. Do you all see the brutality that's taking place with our police officers and different ones, because they were never set there just to protect the people in the first place? It's the reason why it's so quick, easy to go viral when a police officer do something nice. Oh, he put on my plate, said, oh, he gave me a pass. Why would that be a surprise if you're supposed to be protecting the people? Now let's think. I have many friends that are associates that are police officers, and even they know that that's true. Even they know that that's not the agenda. Remember, God said He would judge the heart, you all, not the outer, and not your degree, not your title. He's going to judge your heart in any position that you have. And what you'll see is that when true God-fearing people that truly have good hearts wind up finding themselves getting into those type of positions, getting involved with different religions, what you'll find is that they're not able to stay there for long because they're considered a black sheep. Look at the term black sheep. Why can't be a white sheep? Y'all, let's think. Get what you need for your mental health and wellness. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Somebody says bad for business. You're not promoting your things. Get your things that you need to be healthy so that your mind can focus right. It does affect your spirit. It does affect how you will lead and guide your families. It does affect how whether or not you're able to see danger when it's coming. I was only fortunate at that time. Only fortunate that at that time that my ex-husband actually listened to me. I think that was part of it. May have been afraid of just how much I was being shown. But once again, God judges the heart. I think if nothing else, he knew that this woman is not going to do anything to harm this family. He knew that much. Husbands, your wives should know that about you too. That you won't do nothing to harm your family. But you will only be a protector. You'll only be a provider. You'll only be one that lead and guide them into the truth, into righteousness. And for those who all that don't have them, then that also means that you are the one that's placed in that position. So no, women, we're not in the clear. We can't be so will. I'm the mama, I'm the head, I'm the daddy, I'm the mama, I'm the daddy, I'm the everything. But then now when it's time for the responsibilities to come for you to lead and guide, now all of a sudden, well, if the man was here, no, go ahead and be a warrior. Go ahead and be a warrior. Go ahead and be a warrior queen. Yeah, go and be the warrior queen. Yeah. Because everybody ain't gonna be in no position to where Kalima, where I try not to call a chameleon, but to where you ain't gonna be the first woman president. You actually got to be down here with everybody else in this position. Everybody gonna be that. And at the end of the day, when you're dead, you're not done. Your name should live on amongst your people. And this is the reason why we have to do it while we live today, while we are alive today. Because somebody still won't talk about what you have done and what you didn't do. Just like God said that he would judge us for every deed. That's the reason why I don't believe in trying to do more good deeds to try to cover up for the bad that I've done. Actually, when you do it that way, you're not doing it in the right heart anyway. Well, because I jacked up these, I'm going to try to hurry up. And I'm by all means, that don't mean do worse. No, that's my belief. I don't believe because I've seen it happen too many times. Too many times in my 49 years on this earth. Where we think that we're going to outbeat God's system. And we're not. How many, if you read your scriptures, how many of you all seen it where so many were smited? You wiped out nations and then turned around and said those would be cursed. The generations from generations would be cursed. You don't see too many of them that say that all of them would be blessed. Why do you say it? Because of their disobedience. So those of us who's proclaiming to be the children of God and are only focusing on us because we are the only ones that say that we are the light of the world. We're the ones that's proclaiming how the truth. We're the ones that's saying the truth to set us free. We're the ones that's quick to holler, if our people which are called by our name, don't even know our name, shall humble themselves and pray, seek his face, and turn from its wicked ways. Then will we hear from heaven. But I don't believe in heaven. Then will he forgive our sins. What sins? Then will I heal the land. This ain't our land. So once again, my heart, my whole heart, entire heart. And I know there are those who try to steal that, but you can't. You can't. Those who have a spirit and a mind and a sight to see can see straight through it. See straight through it. And know when your heart is in the right place. It won't be no mocking. None whatsoever. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not one that I like to see anything bad happen to anybody. And I've had a few people in my time that have done some really horrible things. When I look back on my life just in the last couple of years, and I had to size up every evil deed that was done in a very cunning and manipulative way. And I seen how the adversary spirit, the evil spirit, because sometimes you got to step back from things in order to be able to see it a little bit more better, get a better view. When you're up too close and get a little bleary. I said, man, I can't believe I made it through that. God, how did I not see that a little sooner? In each step of the way, I believed that I was hearing the voice of God and said, no, you saw it. It's just that you got so used to my covering. You got so used to really hoping and believing that a person would see your heart and not do you harm. And you forgot about that Satan don't care about your heart. Evil men and women don't care about your heart in the matter. They only care about coming to steal, kill, and to destroy. And that's exactly what happened. They stole, they killed, and they destroyed. And then went off to act like they're an angel of light. How did you make it through that, Dr. Chef? Because my help and my strength and my focus has always been on God. Just because any Satan or even evildoers can come through and got in the camp don't mean that they were going to be allowed to be able to try to destroy me. And you all can have the same for yourself. But we got to get to a place. Got to get to a place where we're not looking for evil men and evil doers to save us. We gotta get to a place where we stop thinking that I ain't gotta do no work because I'm waiting on for the heavens of heaven to crack the sky. I'm waiting for the will. No, you do the will of God. And when the time comes for the will of God to be done and to manifest itself, you'll be ready. At least that's what I think. Yeah, this is my personal thought about it. You practice on doing the will of God in your life, then it shouldn't be no problem about you being worried about whether or not you're going to get taken up for a will, right? When you're ready. Remember when somebody come pick you up and you're ready, or those of you out to do Uber, you get ready because they already know that if you had an Uber driver waiting, or even some of the cases where you have a family or friend waiting too long, they're going to take off. They're going to leave you. They toot the horn for a warning. Now, I'm out here. Take too long. Not everybody gonna come knocking at your door. I believe that that's not how God is. He done tooted the horn, the trumpets done blew. Got the false prophets, the few prophets that might be righteous. I'm sorry, I said it like that. Got all of them blowing the trumpet. No, can you hear me? I'm the loudest. I preach the best. I talk the best. I'm the best motivational speaker. Everybody's saying the same thing. Ain't nothing special going on. It's been here all the time. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. It'll be open for us to see if we just open up our eyes. If we only open up our eyes. And if you be blind, it says you be blind because you've been blind because of your disbelief. You can't believe it when you see it. I never forget when I think about it. I said the more and more I think about it, when I'm thinking about, for those of y'all that study the Revelation, and whether you believe that happened then or whether you believe that's going to happen later, whatever your thought is for the time. One scripture that stood out to me is when it said that even when God returns, even when this happened, now this is for those who, y'all know my famous saying, I call them the Bible thumpers. I don't know why they come. I don't know the Bible thumpers. Like to debate Bible. Even when it happens. Let's say that happens. It said that there would be people that would look God right in the face, curse him, and die. Still won't. It say every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that he is Lord. And I was like, what? And they still won't. You kind of see that in the military sometimes when you go and invade camps, guerrilla warfare, in Vietnam. Can you imagine, some of them came out, they trained them so well that some of the pregnant women come out like pregnant carrying bombs in their belly. I think that's that spirit is still here. So it don't matter how much we speak about how you should take care of your body, how you should take care of your mind. No matter how much we talk about how healthy you are, there's still always gonna be some that say, you know what? So it's a sweet thing that they're doing. I mean, like, so my mom and I to live is Christ, to die is gain. Yeah, I'm exhausted. You still gonna have those that's gonna have a suicidal mind. They think that God really truly needs them to die for. I didn't know that there was some more Jesuses. I didn't know that there was some more that was supposed to be put on the cross and crucified or murdered. However way I want to see it. I didn't know it was supposed to be any more of that. I heard the term be Christ-like. Whatever like is. Everybody got their level of like. I be Christ-like as long as I ain't got to give up all my money. I be Christ-like as long as I don't have to settle for an ugly wife. Yeah, I said it. I'll be Christ-like as long as I don't have to have no handicapped children. I'll be Christ-like as long as I don't have to take no minimum wage job. Y'all got conditions on your Christ-like. Y'all, we got conditions. We treat Christ like how we do when you go into a restaurant and you see you want a salad, you want fruit, you want meat, you want this. We trying to pick and choose this one. You don't want a whole meal deal. You don't want a whole wholesome meal. You want junk and junk. Give me like a couple of fruits and then some more junk and then some deadly meat. And I'm good. I'm gonna feel better after that. And then we turn around and we mock God and say, now let me bless this killer food. Let me bless this heart attack food. Let me bless this heart congestion. Let me digest this constipation. Let me bless this. And each step of the way, we getting sicker and sicker. And then turn around and then have others. I'm just talking about those who say that we want to be Christ-like, especially in the midst of the storm, because we want God to save us, right? We want to sit here and actually expect God to change His word. We want to expect Mother Nature, not to be Mother Nature. We don't want the birds to chirp. We don't want the worms going into them, trying to be the nutrients of the soil. We don't want the greenery to rise. Yeah, it's not just a white man, y'all. It's some of us too. It's some of us. How many of you got land and got homes and got houses and you don't have a garden? See, I've been here at home encouraging those that I know to start your garden. Start it. There's a blessing in starting your garden. Get a little bit unbusy, your break time, and start your garden. Get your niece and nephew, grandson, neighbor, somebody to come help you to keep that garden watered. Because as you see now, we just living in a time now where people whole cities and towns have been swept away. I will ask Max. Yeah, many theologians and people that will debate about why this has happened. I say you can debate on, you can call it what you will, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to be found being given or being blessed with anything that God has blessed me with, that I've been, or that I worked hard for, and then turn around and then act like it doesn't matter. Now, granted, nothing is more important than yourself, than you saving yourself and your family. I'm not saying stay behind for a garden. I'm merely saying, well, for those of us who have, do right by what God has blessed you to have. That means your family, that means your dry land, that means your place of good soil where you're able to grow some things. I promise you, you'll be so less stressed. There's a healing in putting your hands into the earth. There's scriptures on that too, you all. Look it up on how we treat the earth. Google it. I have time to go down all the list of scriptures, y'all. This is not Bible study. I'm just using it as reference because I know I have a lot of my spiritual and religious people that tune in from time to time. Mostly, they're not. And I'm here to send forth the warning that we have to get our lives together. You not only need to eat your fruits and your vegetations and good healthy food so that you can have better mental clarity, so that you can feel better, so you have enough energy. But we have to get to a place to where we learn how to treat one another right and stop placing so much harsh judgment on each other. I'm so reminded. I was just speaking to an auntie of mine today, and I was reminded of how even with the adulterous woman in the Bible where it speaks, you all know about the passage where they were getting ready to stone her to death, but they wasn't going to stone the man. And I know we got those who have all of these philosophies and all of these belief systems that, oh, you're supposed to, man can have all these women. Now, it said that it was not her husband. Whether it was multiples or not, it said it was not her husband. They said that she was caught in the act of, hey there, sister, good to see you. Good to see you, Sister Tyra. But yet they were so quick to stone her. But then what happened? Jesus came through there and said, he that is without sin, cast the first stone. Why would he say that? Is it because he was condoning adultery? Of course not. It's because he knew the people that was placing judgment. He knew the people that were placing judgment. He knew the people that were going to act, that was going to raise their hand to stone, knowing good and well that 9 times out of 10, most of them was in the act of adultery too, but just hadn't been caught. In the act of stealing too, it just hadn't been caught. In the act of lying and cheating and mocking and gossiping, but just hadn't been caught. They knew. He knew the heart of those people. So this is why we have to be very careful, you all, during this time in this season, especially. We have to be very careful. Just like you have to be careful about what type of naturopathic information that you get from it. Everybody, I'm going to say it again, everybody can't eat the same thing. Everybody's body is not safe, is not even made up to accept the same thing. I don't care how many testimonies you hear. It's not. You even know that mothers and fathers, you even know that from your children. Certain things don't adjust. Certain children, some of your children, no matter, even though you've had them all by the same, you got the same parents, same DNA, some of them don't like the same thing. Some things run off one child and the other one is feeling very fulfilled. Because the system is not to change. No one body got the same organs in the same exact position. They were birthed at different times, even if you were twin. Even if you had a cesarean, one was pulled out before the other. Neither twin is the same exact size, same exact length, same exact nothing internally. So we got to keep that in mind. How do we know this, Dr. Chef? You call in for a health consultation with me. Not much at all. It's not in the hundreds of dollars. That's only when you want a whole month of coaching to help you get into a position to where you're able to really focus on taking care of your body, the temple that God gave you. Especially for those who believe that he's coming back from people that lives without a spot or a blemish. I guess that's just another scripture that they just put up in there. I said, I ain't never seen the evil man that actually put something in the Bible or any writing that would actually go against what they are. So I'm more inclined to believe that somebody righteous put that up in there. I ain't never seen it. Now, I have seen it with those who are unrighteous and those who are ungodly will teach that is good, to make it seem like they are, to get you to believe that they are practicing what they teach. I've seen that because there's a lot of attention, a lot of money to be made in doing that for a lot of them that have learned the craftiness of how to get that movement. There was a lot of anxiety that night. Less than 1% will give all to the poor. Less. I can promise you the taxes will show that. Less than 1% will give all to the poor. Less than 1% will act like the Leviticus priests that were collecting offering and tithing, so that there would be room, so that there would not be room enough to receive the blessings of God, the fruits, the vegetations, everything that the oils, so everything that the people need in the time of famine, in the time of crisis. The widow, the fatherless children, the elderly, the sick. They're not storing up like that. But you'll find if you look at their records, what you're going to find is that they're paying out more for workers, for people to support them. And you'll find that they're paying out more for people to do for them. You'll find out that they're paying out more for the women that they want than they will ever for the poor. I lie not. What you'll find is high heel shoes being more paid for. How the cost of the shoes will be more than what be enough to feed a nation. I ain't finna mess with your wigs and your hair weave. I ain't finna mess with that. And your expensive purses. I work hard for this now. No, but you got a foundation. Anybody talking about who work hard with hustling to talk people into giving to you? Well, I'm supposed to be the head, not the tail. Yeah, but it didn't mean that you were supposed to make your people the tail, God's people the tail, in order for you to be the head. That was supposed to be for the wicked. So I start questioning anytime we get in these leadership positions. And then here it is, the poor don't have, but you got so much more. And you try to pretend like you don't have much more by trying to give and disperse things in different directions to set it up to where there'll be those that'll be willing to give their all to you, meaning hiding money, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Like the government do. Like the rich do. Hiding it. And crying wolf like he ain't got nothing. You know it because of the foulness and how you treat the people. You'll know it. No, the Bible says to owe no man nothing but love. I guess somebody slipped that in there too, and that was right. King James gay self took it, took and put that in there too, huh? I'm sorry. Somebody slipped up in there and took it and revised that too, huh? They owe no man nothing but love. Why wouldn't me bring you some grapes be good enough? You hungry, you sick, and help heal the body. I like to challenge us to think. I just like to challenge us. If you only got a few suits, why wouldn't it be nice to me just bring you a suit? I'm a seamstress. Oh, well, that's all good and stuff, but I need money. But girl, you know how it is, girl. I gotta have my money, I gotta have my place that I go. You ain't studying nobody but yourself. Ain't nobody gonna have me broke. How you gonna be broke if you do right by the people? The people take care of you. That's what you're scared of. Kind of put me in the mind of when a certain big time so-called star, and the name started with Will, got on a place, had came up on the stage some years back. Some of you all may remember, maybe not. You can look it up on YouTube, where this famous star that's been brought down now from their children coming out stating that they sold their bodies, that they gave their children up for sexual deeds. You all know who I'm talking about. One of the black stars that had been doing a whole lot of revolutionary movies, even played Muhammad Ali. Kind of put me in the mind of that when they were on the stage of a black woman that had one of the biggest shows that started with an O. Started with an O. Now she got her own. And, stuff coming out about that too. Because he too had a school in Africa and supposed to be leading the girls into learning how to educate themselves and they're providing spirituality just for it to come out that so many of them saying how they giving up for sex trade. Kind of put me in the mind of when the interview came up with the Will, with that actor, first name Will, when they said that the number one thing that he was afraid of, and I think he born in this season too. Look that up. He said the greatest fear he had was losing everything. The first thing I had thought about is that if you put that out there on the airwaves, then that's the very thing that Satan's going to tempt you with. So that means that now anybody can proposition you with anything for you to keep your money and your fame and your materialistic things. And what has happened since then? It took a little time, y'all, but here it is, working up on 10 years later. Now all the children are grown now, and they all in such a bad condition because of what? The father was afraid to lose his money, afraid to lose his fame. Now this is the time that we live in. And we need to have those of us who got the same spirit with nothing. Ain't got nothing, ain't even got a pinch of what they had for us monetary means and for us materialistic things. And they still got that type of mentality. Y'all, this is not the time for us to be or have that type of mentality. That's the very thing that will continue to destroy us as a people, as we know it. We will be constantly destroyed thinking that life is about things and more need. How many people that have escaped the rubble, that have escaped the floods, that didn't have nothing on their backs, but their lives were saved? You can go make some more money. You can go eventually get another home, but you can't get another life. Not one fiscally here the way we know it. I know those of us who believed in reincarnation. I'm not going to touch on that. Believe what you will. But it's still not the life that you've known it to be. I'm not trying to come back as a bird, as a plane. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's Dr. Chef. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying. I don't think some of y'all was tuning in with either. Huh. I was not expecting it to go that far. I was not expecting it, y'all. I'm glad that you received the text, Sister Jacqueline. Thank you so much. I'll keep a lookout for your payment for your product, and it will be sending through soon. You all can ask questions. I had to get that off my heart. I had to share that and get that off my heart. We got a half an hour left, and you all can ask any health questions that you need to ask. I know it's a lot to think about. But I had to share with you all what was in my heart to share with you all, because I fully understand. As you all see, it went from daylight to tonight. I thought I saw somebody that I knew back there, but I don't know. And I can't see them now because it's dark. Uh, so it is what it is. Anywho, I'm saying this to say that we have to get to a place to where we learn how to best take care of ourselves so that we can be healthy and healed in our minds. Thank you so much, Sister Edna. Thank you so much, Sister Cherry. Those of you all that have been sending in donations, those who all that's been supporting. As you all know, I still have the colon cleanse for $40. You all get 2 packs of this, or either one for $25. And that's set up. We're going to go into the motions until there's some questions asked. Once again, it lowers the cholesterol. It also lowers blood pressure, high in fiber, boosts immunity in the body, and it also relieves irritable bowel syndromes, promotes heart health, aids in weight loss, lowers blood pressure. Look at that, y'all. That's a lot. Also, and I know you have those who speaking against fibers, don't work fiber. This is because they don't believe in It's because they don't fully understand that unless you have really hard compacted um, hard compacted fecal matter that's been in the line in your gut for years, then that's when you need to most definitely make sure that you go in for a full blown um, colon cleanse. And yes, I do support coffee enemas as well. So I think someone asked me that question before and I didn't answer, but I do support coffee enemas as well. But you want to hit it from the inside out. Remember gravity. You know, we want to practice what they call the Mother May, what I learned in a detoxification class called the Mother May. The mastication, absorption, and elimination is what you want to practice, meaning chewing your food until the saliva comes in and the acid goes into the body and then takes and it breaks down your food. And then now the body can actually take and receive the nutrients from it while it's working down into your gut and going out and passing out through your rectum. That is the natural order. What goes in must come out. That's what you want to happen. This can help aid you in this. So I provide anywhere from 21 to 30-day supply of this. Only $40 for 2 bags. There are different ones that's tuned in that's getting it now. And then I also still have plenty of sea moss you all left because I know this was on the highest one. You can granulate this. You can put it in, make creams out of it. You can put it in your salad, your soup, and all. This is one where I didn't have. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I have the label here where it's known for being the mucus destroyer, enhances masculine health and male libido, antidepressant, skin nourishing, enhances feminine hormonal health, immune support, promotes healthy thyroid function, fight radicals. That's going to be important now, y'all, because what's happening is that the people that's going to be displaced from the floods from Mexico, from Florida, from all of the other surrounding areas that's not being mentioned, that's been affecting you all. A lot of them are going to be sick during this time. I hate to have to admit it, but they are. They're going to be sick. The immune system going to be weak. Because they're broken. They they will be displaced and not be able to eat and do their own regular thing. Can you imagine? It's Florida, you all. This is where we're known for having some of the good fruits and this. And this is the one thing that was going to entice me to go. I have a sister that's in Jacksonville. I have cousins and different ones I was raised with. I have uncles and aunties that's out there in that area. Also in North Carolina, thankfully, as far as I know of, they are fine. But there's no guarantees. And I'm saying it was known for Florida being the one that have some good fruits and vegetations left, even though they've been commercialized as well. But the soil was known for being more richer and healthier. The people were known for being a little bit more healthy, even though it is a state that is really known for having other ungodly things that's going on. And that was one of the reasons why I did not want to go. That's one of the reasons why I really had to pray, how am I being led? And I'm so thankful that I didn't, because once again, I would have been led to land to the slaughter, because where I was going to be, it was going to affect some things. I can tell. There's no way that I would be able to tell that different years ago in Maui, a place where I've never been before, and then I can't see what's going on right here in my homeland, that right just hours away from me. Come on now. I even had a little child that come to me, and a mother actually of the child. You all knew, for those who tuned in for a cooking show, she had a 6-year-old son, and she was ready to move and had to shift. And she said to me while I was up there, you all remember the young sister that was doing the cooking show with me back in this time last year, in around about March and April. She turned around and she said, "My son," I asked him, "Where should we go?" She said, "Can we move to Florida? Can we move to Texas?" Just so happened, and it's not just her, it's been several other people. Florida, Texas, and California. I hope that this helps somebody, because I'm going to share this before I get back to this. And each time I said, no, I'd already seen it. I have to admit, I seen the vision. I already saw it. I said, no, these places is getting ready to get hit. The areas where we were going to go to was going to affect us majorly. But I couldn't share that with the person who was trying to get me to be out there at that time. And first and foremost, I wasn't prepared to leave our children. God ain't telling you to do that. Especially not to go take care of nobody else or to go hunt down somebody else that don't belong to you. Yeah, I said it. And so it was clear that I was not supposed to, I could visit, but I could not live there. And I'm just thankful that I was healthy minded enough spiritually and I had a prayer life. I can't stop stressing it, y'all. That actually get me in a position where I could think clear and say, I told the person then, no, those are not the places for us to be. And I know it's out of order because we're not supposed to leave our children. Absolutely, they are not finished being raised. They still need us. Uh-huh. You all, sometimes you have to stand your ground. Once again, you stand for something, you fall for anything. I would have been left there, my children and grandchildren, everybody else would have been behind here and trying to struggle to get back while they out doing whatever they want to do, trying to make a name for themselves. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Yeshua, in the name of Allah. No, can't do it, y'all. Y'all have to think for yourselves. But in order for you all to do that, you have to get healthy and well. You have to make this a lifestyle so you can be able to hear the voice of God when it comes, no matter who it is trying to lead you down the path of destruction. No matter who. I could even see that even if I had left out the country, that there was going to be a flood. You all, I'm sharing something with you. And I do contribute it partly to even living a more healthier life. I do contribute it more. Well, some. I turned to more for having a prayer life and asking God to show me certain things. You can do that without being a witch, y'all. You can do that without being considered being a warlock. You can do that. That's a trick of the adversary to get you to think, to get you to steer away from being able to have wisdom. It's a trick of the adversary. So because I'm sitting here and I'm still invested, I wouldn't have been able to get to invest in the products to be able to give you all anything. What I was doing prior to it at that time while being propositioned, I was already promoting, as some of you all know that's tuning in, I was already promoting healthy things. I was already giving consultations all over the world. Already. Even as far as Africa. Already. So no, and then God done something even more greater. Sent me someone from the very place, two people, herbalist and then a nurse, from the very place that I was supposed to be into in that country or could have been led to. At the time when he said, "Be still." Once again, you got to know the voice of God. I said, I have suffered too much for not listening to the voice of God within me. To sit here and to act like I don't know no better. To sit back and think that I can afford to disobey it and ignore it. It doesn't matter how much money, it doesn't matter how many trips, it doesn't matter how it looks on social media. What matters is what you do behind closed doors. What matters is how we take care of our bodies and our families, especially us women. We're the ones that's mostly preparing these things. So you got to ask yourself, are you going to be one that's going to be the death of your family? Or are you going to be the one that's going to be the life of your family? You do that by this. Once again, the CMOS, you all are very versed in this, but there may be some that's going to tune in now and later. I had to say that. It's known for being the mucus destroyer, you all. Antidepressant, skin nourishing, immune support, promotes healthy thyroids, promotes healthy heart health, fight infections, free radicals, promote visual health, enhance feminine hormones, enhance masculine libido, antidepressant, good for the nourishing of the skin. This is what you get. I have it. Mine is radiation free. It is. It's the top notch best. And I know a lot of people say that and it's not, but no, I've been getting really good testimonies from those who's already doing good by it. And I'm so appreciative of it. I will at some point probably get to a place where some will allow some to show their testimony again. And then the moringa. I still have some bags of moringa. It's good for the antioxidants, normalizing blood sugar, you all. That's everything. And then the anti-inflammatory is also known for being a stimulant for hair growth. It also good for reducing wrinkles and aging fine lines. It's also good for enhancing skin health, which is the same thing. Anti cholesterol, meaning no cholesterol. It increases energy, good for vision. I could testify that memory used to switch a little bit. And I told you all I didn't like to be before him much because I could tell it's having an effect on my eye. Not until I started putting my moringa, just a teaspoon of my moringa inside of my watermelon and sprinkling in my salad and in my food. Then within a week, I could tell the difference. I didn't even have to use the colloidal silver for it, y'all. It was this. It was the moringa, the powerful Dr. Chef botanical moringa, and it's only $25 a bag. As you all know, I'm out of stock. We can't forget those you all that want to do the business side. You want to pay one time $25 fee, and then you can get this at the amount at the wholesale price for this company. It's called For Life. Some of you all can go in on your own, or you can pay. You can send in cash out for like the sisters that was just selling for $45, and I can have it shipped directly to you all. This is a lifesaver for sure. Good for immune boosting, get that level of your immunity up to the right ratio, and then it helps to fight off all different forms of flu and viruses like what they're getting ready to promote and have out now. And then, as you all know, I am out of the stock. I'm still out of stock, and yes, I am still waiting for investors for my one and only Dr. Chef natural liquids advanced multivitamin. It is the vitamin complex, the berry flavor that's loaded with all forms of all your fruits and vegetables. Only 2 tablespoons a day, and this is a 30-day supply. You can mix it with other drinks if you have other juices and fruits, and that will revitalize your body. And I'm still out of stock on my mental boost, you all, which is good for enhancing your memory like that. I have clients that are still waiting on for it, but once again, that'll be almost close to a grand, you all, for me to get that back in stock, both of them. So just give you an idea of those you all that would like to invest, that do good business. That is open for you all and for your church. If you all have pastors, leaders, others that's inside, that's involved in the health part of your ministries, they can call me at the 618-388-8100 number. And I have a special pricing set for pastors that really want to make a difference for their members so that they can provide the so I can have it shipped straight to the churches. That is another special announcement that I wanted to make, and it should, and you all take it from there. I'm out of it. I'm just the one that supplies the brand for you all that is of the highest quality, no type of, and it tastes really good. That's why I tell you, if anything, you have to make sure that you don't drink too much of it, and forget that it's not just a juice. And then also the same for the B12. It'll only be a couple of $100 more to be able to get back in our super B12. I'm down to my last few now, y'all. And it's a good thing that it provides strength. I have those that who are over 60 that has some really serious conditions going on, and all of them call me back within a couple of days, and this stuff works. And I needed that energy. So anybody that's interested in wanting to invest in the B12, the same thing. I have extra strength, and my bottle is a 2 ounce flow. It's not a little one; it's a 2 ounce flow, and that's a 30-day supply. As you know, you don't have to take B12 every day. Okay, anyone telling you that you have to, then that means there's something else wrong. I mean, increase in your darker berries, in your darker fruits for those who have the intestines to do so. That's not allergic to anything. And then I also encourage you to call in for your consultation. So this, remember, I'm running a $200 to $300 special on 30-day coaching, which involves you getting coached weekly, like Sister Chanel and a few others are taking advantage of. And you are able to split your payment. You're able to split your payment in order to make sure that it's not being too financially hard on you. I am not one of those people that think that everybody should be able to give something to me or be able to afford things that you don't have bills. I'm not one of those people that think that everybody is junking up and doing wrong by their funds. I know I don't. So I have to leave room for those who do that are good stewards over your income. Usually, people think that when they are not good stewards over there. See, that's a matter of what type of business they're in. And so I'm not one that's privy to actually think that everybody can afford something. If that be the case, then we wouldn't have what we call the poor. And there are poor people here in America. Anybody saying anything different has lost their minds. And no, I'm not going to tell you that you can't receive any of the help. You may get to that place. Everybody's not in the same place, financially, physically, mentally, or spiritually. So I leave room for that because that's what we call the mercy of God. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Those who are not, and they're quick to cut you off because they can't get what they want to get from you and they think that they know what all you do, then they will not attain mercy. Period. I didn't make that up. It's written. We've seen it. And so I like to make sure now, I know you all, I maybe got everybody revved up and going so much with how I've delivered this Wellness Wednesday, but I had to do and present what was near and dear to my heart because of all of the things that's going on today, all of the different families. Once again, let's not forget to pray for those you all to have extra time. I do encourage some of you all to help. If you know that there's those who are, I don't care, it could be socks, it could be clothes, give something that you have. It could be that those who's going to be misplaced in your family or around you, it could be that they may need rides somewhere and you have vehicle. You are able to afford to take them somewhere. Be a help one to another. But of course, be led by God with that. Meaning assess who you do that for. I'm not saying put yourself in places and in positions where people will take totally advantage of you. But let everybody know what you're worried about, what you're doing. Let somebody who knows, who cares, even if you have to call your local authorities to help one another. It's best to go through. It is. It's best to go through the agencies, Red Cross, and different places to know how you can be a help and an assistant in a time like this, because I do believe that more of our places is going to get hit between now and the next few years. And yes, you will hear about even more so and out of the country. Nobody is in the clear. Nobody. Nobody. So remember, you all, I know I said until close to 8, unless you all don't ask any questions, then I'm going to go ahead and close out soon because I understand it was a lot. It was a lot. And yes, I can't wait. Yep, I remember Motivational Monday, you all be tuning in. My goal would be to tune in at noon for Motivational Monday, okay? And we will be picking up with the powers of the mind and whatever else that God lead on my heart to share with you all, okay? So I'm going to wait for a few more minutes. If you have any other questions, remember you all can call in for your consultation at 618-388-8100. I'll put that in the chat while I wait for you all. I know I was ahead it in there ahead of time. I'm going to put that in the bottom of the chat. I'm going to say text, but you can call too, but I get the texts first. I see somebody. Is it good to get the flu shot noon, 12 noon Central Time? Yes. Yes, bless McKay. Yeah, noon Central Standard Time. And I don't recommend it at all. I have too many clients I've never received the flu shot since I was at home with my mother when I was younger, since I believe 6th grade. Never. And I know plenty of others that have it, but it's already been proven that it does not prevent the flu. You're actually being injected with the influenza to see if your immune system actually can fight off the influenza and all of the chemicals that's in the flu shot. That's the reason why you see not too many people receiving it anymore. So I would recommend an exemption form um, for anyone that's working jobs that's trying to demand that you have that, because it's well known now, very well known now throughout that these things do not help heal our bodies and do not prevent the flu. And I can't be flagged for that because it's well known. So no, I do not recommend it at all. At all. What I recommend is so you can take your sea moss, your moringa, your vitamins that you have, get the immune booster. That will do you well and help to prevent the flu for you. I recommend for you to cleanse your system, to go on a fast, at least a 1 day fast, and to continue to flush your system with good, pure, filtered water, spring water, with lemon, and with fruitations that will help regenerate your body and that will help boost your immune system. That's what I recommend. Good questions, Sister Chanel. That's a very good question. Okay, I just put that in there. And then let's say how to help your body to clean itself after the pneumonia shot. Oh, yes. What you want to do is, once again, you want to get to a place where you restore your body with the proper electrolytes and use your berries and the cleansing system. You would need to call in for consultation so I would know what kind of foods that you're eating and where you are for as the health is concerned, in order for us to know the most best route specifically designed for you. And I also do, I'm glad you asked that question, Les McKay, because I also am now making regimens, blood um, food regimens and food lists is according to your blood type. So if you know your blood type, if I'm not mistaken, if that's the Bless McKay that I think, then I actually make up your own food list according to that, and to according to whatever your body may be quote unquote allergic to, and then we go from there. So I would recommend you to call in. It's only $50 at this point for you to call in for your consultation, if you would like to, Miss McKay, and then we can go down the list of what you would need to start cleansing your system, because there is no one way. There is no one way that may work for your system. And I can't just tell you to just to only eat fruits to help clean your body of that particular type of shot. Anyone that's telling you to do that, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. No, you want to cleanse your system. You want to cleanse your gut. You cleanse your blood, and you have to clean. But I have to know what you're taking in on a regular basis for that. So once again, the number is in the chat where you can via text and let me know when you're ready to start, so we can get on that ASAP, because you don't want to carry that over into another flu season. Okay. Thank you for the question. Okay. And those who want to give for donations for Cash App, I'm going to put that in there. And remember, I have a lower F and a capital F, because I know that's been an issue, I've been told, for some people. Was thinking about, they're trying to put in two lower F's and it wasn't popping up for you all. So my apologies for not stressing that before, because that's on me. That's made me miss out in some cases. But then there are those you all that pay, that vision is good and clear enough to see that it's a lower F and a capital F in there for Cash App. So that, and now, just so you all know, I do have it where you all can pay by phone as well. If you call in and you want to pay by phone, you get your receipt by phone as well, sent through to via text when you, if you need to pay by phone. Okay. So just so you all know. All right. I'm really thankful that so many of you all are getting on your health beat. I know that October is the month. It's amazing how it started off, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. This is the things that happen in certain seasons. This is the time where a lot of wicked things are being practiced. A lot of babies and children are being sacrificed. There's so much that's going on all over the world, all over the world. And whew, so it's just something about the season. My heart go out for those who are just born in this season that's trying to do your best to try to enjoy the fact that you've seen another year. And I've already sent out my born day wishes for you all. But the balance we got to create the balance, you all, which is the season that we are in. We have to make the greatest difference that we can in the area that you are in, the home that you're in. We have to, because if we don't do it, no one else will. No one else is going to do it. Okay. Any more questions? We got 9 more minutes, you all. I can answer it. Sometimes I go over a little bit. You all know how I do it. Um, just put in my little quote, my little saying. Yep, I advise that those you all that's tuning in now to go back. Uh, I had some things to share spiritually on my heart concerning. It was a different kind of wellness Wednesday, you all. I had it to share, and once again, let's not forget that Motivational Monday will have to be at noon because I have to be there. I'm tell you what it is. I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna be out trying to take care of anyone at this time. I have to be there. I'm on grandmama duties. Now, if I can get him and his siblings to nap at a certain time, then that means I'll just have to tune back in at that normal time between 5:30. But as of right now, it has to be at noon. If there's any changes, then I'll come back on like I did last week to give a short commercial to state what's going to take place. Okay, because this will be the first time that I've been with the sisters. Um, but my grandson, as you all know, I've had him in before on the Wellness Wednesday. Some of the newcomers haven't seen him, but Sister Tyra and different other ones, they have seen them. Oh, I wonder what happened to Sister Cherry. Where's she been? Um, I'm like, yeah, I've been missing Sister Candy. What's Sister Candy at? Somebody let me know how she's doing, or you'd have to call her. And then you all remember to keep Sister Dorman LaShawn Dorham in your prayers. She's doing okay so far, so good, but she's still standing in a lot of good need of positive prayers concerning her condition. As you all know, she shared that she was in first stages of breast cancer. And yes, I know this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I at one time had did study to pull him and was given the opportunity to speak on breast cancer, and we supposed to be doing this big thing, but you all God do what was best. And all I'm going to say, woman to woman, because only we have breasts, is that you all use wisdom. Take care of your bodies. Go over, eat to live and not to die. Let's not get caught up in the celebration of celebrating us having our breasts removed for them to use the tissues and to be able to use the stems to be able to do other things to play God more than ever with our bodies, you all. Know that once again, once it becomes commercialized, an industry, you all, is not about your health. And we got to get to a place, we very much so need to get to a place to where we're not magnifying having to be tortured. We're not magnifying having to have limbs removed. It's something that I just thought about something. Some came to mind there. I go, y'all. It's something that I don't see out of all the people that's done lost legs and people that's done lost an arm, and people that done lost their feet from diabetes. I don't see no marches done for that. You got two of those. I see Special Olympics, but that's for different. That's a different kind of thing. Why we don't have a one leg cancer awareness month? I know a lot of people that have had to have part of their abdominal cut out because they for uterus cancer, got uterus, and why we not having a uterus cancer awareness month? Let me be quiet because somebody might think of it. Something about that breast, huh? The very tool that's used to feed the nation. Mighty funny that it's on the market where women are able to give their breast milk and making a lot of money off of it. I wonder, can those ducks, is scientists good enough to reproduce milk from some of those chopped off breasts? I'm just wondering. After all, we are a nation that eat beasts, that eat parts. There is a such thing as cannibalism. We know that the uterus and the kidneys are being sold, and the heart can be sold. The eye corner can be sold. Your teeth. We knew that from George Washington. Them taking teeth. Teeth can be replaced. Got prosthetics. If people can be cloned now, and you can create skin, then I wonder what a whole breast would do. A whole breast. Just a thought. Just a thought. Oh, but with some scientific proof behind it too. I'm just not prepared because we're at the end. It just came to mind, y'all. Got time to talk about that this next following Wellness Wednesday. Remind me, since it's a whole month of breast cancer awareness. And yes, my heart goes out. It must, because I don't. I know a lot of people, and I've had clients that's gone through it, that before they got to me, they'd already been diagnosed or already been carrying the signs of it for various reasons. And yes, there are those who have recovered. And so we will have a moment for that on Wellness Wednesday. Look forward to it, you all. Since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I think it's some other things that we need to be aware of in the right spirit, of course. Because women understand how sensitive of a matter that is. That is not something to be mocked at all. That is not something to be insensitive about at all. At all. Gotta be very, very, very mindful. The mind of God, once again. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I talked about this early on, you all, and you all didn't know. It was table talk, behind the scenes talk. It's amazing to me that when we don't have certain body parts and certain things, how those who don't have it can be so insensitive. It's amazing. It's amazing. But can't be surprised. I can't be surprised. You're the only person. This is not something to be angry about. This is just something to be aware. This is how they have to think about it. We got to learn from the enemy. This is how they made it you aware. Let's all put on pink. Let's all march. Let's all get some pink chicken and serve and some sauce. So that means those of us who have the answers and that can help in a less invasive way, in a less brutal way, we have to be smart. The enemy is clever. You can't scare people into this one. We as women know that. First thing gonna say is that you ain't got no breasts. And you don't. I don't see too many men saying that about prostate cancer. When they had to have one testicle removed, you don't hear too many people revving up about that too much. Not too much. Not too much. It's a sensitive matter. We women know better. At least those of us who smart know better than me going around being too harsh about whether or not a man had to have a testicle removed. After all, the dude look like little bitty breasts. Y'all remember to be healthy more in 2024. Okay? All right, Dr. Chef, you're on to something. Sister Jacqueline, I gotta be on. Because other than that, I'll be off. We all be off. You can't have all of us off. Some people were created. I do believe that some people were created at such a time as this just for us to get the wake up call of what not to do. Pay attention. Do not we have this presidency that's going on and everything? Do they go up there looking like bombs? Do they go in there not prepared to speak at all? And we're not talking about Joe Biden, y'all. We're going to leave that alone. No, they go up dressed well in suits. They had their hair done. They look like they present. I'm for the people. Satan do that too. Oh, we've helped so many people. Satan do that too. His children do that too. They give to the poor and the needy too. Way more than those of us who claim to be righteous and holy. Yeah, I said it. How else do you think they got people? Why they got millions of people working for them? They can say that they providing wealth for people too. They jobs. Why you think they able to keep going? I just shared on my page, y'all. Before I get out here, I just shared on my page. There's 10 major companies that's controlling the whole food chain around the world. 10. Do you think they God-fearing or buying people? These are jobs that's taking care of people. That's able to pay for homes and houses. With love and kindness, how about Jerome thee? Not with bullying. Never. You can scare a few people, but I can promise you this: if people get too scared, they're not going to operate right. They're going to mess up way more. Can you imagine me soaring like this? Can you imagine me drinking? Spilling stuff all over your face, too scared. Mine all over the place. How much did Dr. Chef say? Put up in here. What she say? Oh my God. Oh, tell me how much. Oh, wait a minute. She said if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose my breast. You just taking everything out of fear. That kind of fear is not good. Now let's think. I know it sounds fascinating to see people clown. I know it sounds fascinating to see people angry and upset and seeming like they just so bothered by the issue, but you all have to understand. I need for you all to understand, the few that's tuned in, that everything that seems like it's for us is not for us. I imagine that if I'm a person that have issues with sexual demons, that I would be going crazy over breasts too. And I ain't got none. Yeah, I said it. I'm just saying. It's just so much, you all, in due time. In a little bit of time, it will be revealed. In a little bit. I can see that much. God, why Dr. Chef so cool? Once again, when I have to see how people fail at things is not a good thing. I know what it is to fall and I have to get back up. I know some of you all do too. So I don't rejoice in seeing any of us fail at anything. But when we get to our high horses to where we think that just because we call out our enemy for doing exactly what they were created to do, think about it. We are people that If it ain't no wrong taking place, we're not gonna fight back. If you never get sick, you would never think of how to get well. It's a reason why this is October and this supposed to represent the balancing act. There's a balancing act that takes place there. There's a yin and there's a yang. There is no woman without man. There is no man without woman. There is a up, there is a down. There's some laws here, you all, that clearly some of us have not learned. We just know how to talk. We know how to yell. We know how to fuss. We know how to be politically correct. But ain't got a lick of sense. Yeah, I said it. Ain't got a lick of sense. Just waiting for Satan to trample you. That's a suicidal spirit, you all in the name of Jesus. It's a suicidal. Remember, when you're dead, you can't offend for all of the sins that's going to be done found you out. Well, I'll be done then. Nope, it's just going to transfer over to your children. That is it's for those who claim to believe in the Bible. My heart goes out to those you all that have had to deal with family members and people. And I got to always clean up some mess. I never not be the older sister. Oh my God, cleaning up some mess. I'm so thankful. Yeah, I didn't like it when I was younger. My mom told me, no, because you wash the dishes, wash the dishes, you do this, you do you. But now I see what it was preparing me for. You all be blessed. Ask God for discerning of spirits. Ask Him. No, ain't none of us perfect. But at this point, we all have to know what it means to truly strive for perfection. Not to strive to try to make it seem like I'm more perfect than someone else. It's always easy for us to point the finger at what the enemy is doing. Who fights a war and point, there go the enemy, but yet you don't have no real true weapons to defend yourself with? All the wars that was fought in history in the battle, they had to have some type of weapon. They had to have a mind of God to strategize. And yeah, in some cases, the weather worked in their favor. Yeah, in some cases. But for the most part, they had to have weapons. I wouldn't be nowhere where I can't truly defend for myself and know that I got a layer of sins in my life. Some that's coming before me and some that's coming after me. And I want to and think that I'm going to be in Satan's territory and going to talk a lot of smack. That's a fool. I don't care how much you pay to see the fool do the dance. I said it. That's a fool. Some people like so much attention to where they'll say anything and do anything, and they will tote the word, they'll tote philosophy, they'll tote anything to get you to believe it. And it will be some truth. It will be mixed with a whole lot of lies. So that still turns into being something very deceitful. And now those who are only for the truth, that's going to truly help set them free, they got this strange spirit in them now where they really can't be free for as long as they can be because it's mixed with a pile of lies. The container, how many of you know that you can have clean water, but if you put it in a dirty container? Well, I thought water's supposed to wash and clean me up to a certain degree. It matters from the source. The source matters. The source matters. I like to refer to myself as a glass. Go and see through me. I want you to see what you get. I ain't got to sit back and huff and puff about what you're going to get, knowing that I'm looking like a yellow or red covered up cup. No, I'm glass. I want you to see what you're going to get. I want to keep telling. I want you to see it. I want you to see it with your spiritual eye. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. Not just the words, but where it resonates into your spirit. And that is something growing up in religion and church has taught me that a lot of our people have learned how to do that. Project that energy so strong to where you think that it's the spirit of God and it's not. You think. And most of us are so, it seems like we're so, especially of us that's really sensitive about God. And I have to give it to y'all for our women for sure. Our women for sure. We've been programmed to think that anything that proceeds out of man's mouth with a Bible, or anything that comes from a gift that comes from man with money, we think that that's just everything. Most of us do. We don't care about none of what they done, and then we wonder how it is that our families be destroyed. Yeah, we have to do a better job of assessing. Everything that's barking is not a dog. It could be a wolf in sheep clothing. That's a kind of dog, but it's a more vicious one. We have to know these things. And I've been set free so that I can be free enough to be able to tell the truth. God wasn't going to allow no Satan to hold fast to me. It was already in the making. And I already knew to pray it. Way before I was thought to be anybody's wife. Way before I was thought to even be anybody's mother. And some of you are the same too. The same go for men. There are certain things that God has placed in us that no man can take away. No man. None. If honesty is what you are mostly known for, then honesty it shall be. It should never just only be about money. It should never be where we disrespect each other just because we don't have knowledge of certain things. The Bible said that his people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. It didn't take in all throughout the Bible where you see where they got the red print of Jesus and he yelled it all the way through to us. Yeah, there was some sarcasm here and there, or what we would label as sarcasm. But the people just left. He didn't have to do away with them at all. We think we're doing something by helping under 1,000 people. I don't care what our goals are. But you ain't scratch the surface to be able to ever think that we're in a place to where we could judge so harshly. He said he'll do it in the last days. I'm seeing too much of where our people, and I mean it, even with our diets and how we eat, where we're judging each other and you have not mastered it yourself. I'm not going to sit here and pull up a Bible on you all and pull up all these nutritional facts of you all, and here it is. I know I'm not practicing not even half of it. I'm not going to go along mocking every religion and everybody that's doing what they're doing just because I want you to not focus on what so-called religion that I'm trying to be a part of. They got to try the spirit by the spirit. We got to know it. And if every time the spirit get tried is angry, you know what it is. I think most of us have been taught that. If every time you get questioned, every time, I done got asked some really good, tough questions. It don't anger me. I think just let me know that person is thinking. And everybody have their rights to ask what they want. It's a free country here. But when you get in some of them other countries where they used to the women not having no voice, where they used to you just being a servant, not considered a divine woman of God. They say it's lip service. Then you gonna see flesh rise a lot, a lot. So don't ignore you all, especially those you all that's trying to be on your health beat. Yes, I'm playing for Florida. Thank you so much, because I do. I have a lot of family. I know so many that do have so many. I have so many that's trying to, family that's gone out there and had to go for the hospital, had to go for weddings, different ones, and they have not come back. Thank you so much, Sister Jacqueline. But we just have so much of this going on, and I just want for us to just keep in mind that we are living in perilous times. I know you all have heard this from time to time. You've heard it. I didn't mean to go over, but of course, you know that happens. 15 minutes in. Thank you all so much. I know you all got other things that you like to do with the rest of your evening. I appreciate you all for taking out the time. And thank you all for those who all that are giving. Thank you for those who are putting up orders. Sister Jacqueline, I'll wait to see. I'll check for yours. And then you all keep me and my family in prayers. Also, my son as well. He have big weeks coming up this week for me. So we pray that things work out in his favor. My son Kenneth. And then I want you all to know that I'll always be praying and preparing myself to be a service to us, our people. I am also even in a position where I'm trying to consider whether or not I should be able to be part of one of these groups to go out to help our people. But I'm going to pray about it a little bit more, and then I'm going to see because I do have plenty of work to do here. Um, so we're going to see what I can do here, okay? So I'm going to pray the same for you all, those you all that have the ability to help. Please help those that's here. I told you we was going to need some help here. I told you. So people are going to need money and places to be, you all. Whatever charity you give to, when you get charity, God can bless you. It don't have to be in one place. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be just with me. I appreciate it. I love it. And yes, it's going to go towards good deed products. It's going to go towards being able to counsel and teach and give good things to children and to the elderly. However, I know I'm not the only organization. I'm not the only one that's got a business of health and ministry and helping those in missionary work. It's plenty all around the world that's doing this. You all do as God lead you to. Okay? All right. I love you all and remember to be healthy more in 2024.